Welcome back to another episode of the Purple Huddle Podcast. I'm Brandon. You know my boys, Kevin and Durp. Been a busy offseason. What's up, guys? Any of y'all went into hiding with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, yeah. I went into the tunnel with him.
Got you. You came out. What was it? Not 90% wanted to retire before, and you changed your mind after that. You went back to work
Yeah, I
the
changed my
next day.
mind. I'm going to continue to do the podcast. I'm not going to retire.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, everyone. Free agency started in mid-March. Let's talk about some of the big names that will suit up in different jerseys next year. Just a few off the top of my head, actually more than a few. We got quite a lot of action that's been going on. Juju Smith-Schuster, he won a Super Bowl in Kansas City, but now he's playing under Bill Belichick there in New England. Alan Lazard, he's staying with his boy Aaron Rodgers, but this time it's not in Green Bay. They're both with the Jets, kind of. Lazard, he signed a 4-year, $44 million deal, while A-Rod said he wants to play for the Jets. Nothing is official as of yet. Orlando Brown Jr., he's back in the AFC North. This time it's in the jungle with the Bengals. The Steelers, they added Patrick Peterson to their secondary. Houston, they didn't have a problem in free agency so far. They welcomed Noah Brown and Dalton Schultz from America's team. They'll take 3-hour south drive on I-45 there in Texas. Plus, they added Devin Singletary to the backfield. Broncos, they love running backs. They signed Samaji Piran to a 2-year deal. Raiders, they landed porn star Jimmy and Jacoby Myers for their offense. Gilly, Stephon Gilmore, he'll now guard some of the top wideouts in the NFC East when he suits up for the Cowboys next year via trade. Giants, they welcome Paris Campbell to catch passes from Mr. Moneybags Danny Dimes. Eagles, they grab safety Mike Adams from the Saints, while Washington welcomes Jacoby Brissett on a 1-year deal to be a signal caller there in D.C. David Montgomery, he left the Windy City for the Motor City. Vikings added another tight end. This time it's former Raven Josh Oliver. Taylor Heineke, he's headed to Atlanta to battle with the quarterback down there, the rookie, heading into his second year, along with safety Jesse Bates from the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton, he's in Carolina now. Meanwhile, Jamal Williams will tote the rock for the Saints there in the Big Easy. Bake, he'll replace Brady in Tampa Bay, while his buddy and draft mate Sam Darnold, he'll now be seeing ghosts out of the Bay there in San Francisco. And to top it all off, Devin Bush is now in the Pacific Northwest. Kevin, what moves in free agency, trades, and all off-season activity catches your eye?
What catches my eye would actually be Baker going to Tampa Bay. This would be what, his fourth team now, or third team now in 4 years.
Yeah.
And even with going there and signing, he was told he'll still have to try to earn the job. He's not going to be handed starting reins, and that he's going to have to show that he has, the ability to be able to start in the league. Which I was surprised. I figured they're going to sign Baker. He would probably start right away. And then the other one. I mean, it's not really a free agency signing. It's just, well, it kind of is Danny Dimes getting that contract, because I thought for sure that the Giants were done with him. All signs starting at the beginning of the year is that they were ready to move on. They were going to sign. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. They were going to sign Saquon, and they were going to let him move on and then see what they could do in the draft. And the fact that they picked him up and then turn around and franchise tag Saquon had me thinking a bit. It's like, maybe they're not done with him.
He got saved by the day ball. That's all that was. He was out the door before Brian Daboll came, in my opinion.
This is true. No, I agree. I totally agree.
Durp, what about you?
I think some of the most surprising ones, I wouldn't say necessarily players, but just how teams are hitting free agency this year. I know, usually free agency is always crazy, big name players going to big name places, but it seems like this year teams are not afraid to go out and spend, from the Bears to the Lions. I think, those two teams, they see that A-Rod's about to be gone. They're like, all right, this shit's up for grabs, because the Vikings are the Vikings. So they think that, it's up for grabs. Of course, the big name players were waiting for the Aaron Rodgers shit to drop. But yeah, I like I said, I like the moves that the players got. The moves that the Bears made. I mean, going to get Tremaine Edmonds from VTech. That was a good move. And a lot of interchangeable players going to teams in that same, their same division. Mike Gesicki going to the Patriots. David Montgomery leaving and going to the Lions. It's going to be a lot of teams seeing old players and a lot of players seeing their old teams, which always makes for good TV.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy and thankful for the Atlanta Falcons for taking not Atlanta, Carolina Panthers, right? Took Hayden Hurst out of Cincinnati. I want to send a special thank you to them, the GM down there. And Kansas City, I'm surprised that they let Orlando Brown Jr. go and Juju. I know Juju wasn't necessarily lighting it up last year, but he was, he'd made some plays in the playoffs when the money was on the line. So
well, I think that the Chiefs offered a contract to Orlando Brown. And
yeah,
he turned it down.
Right?
Yeah, and then ended up going down to Cincinnati, and he missed out on like $75 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with that, but do you, young fella?
You're right.
Indeed. I mean, there was a lot of rumor too that Kansas City wasn't happy with him either.
I heard that as well.
And that the money they gave him kind of lowballed him a bit, but they didn't get extremely lowballed.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes there in Cincinnati. For him, I always have respect for my former players. I wish them the best, but not necessarily right now on the Cincinnati. Oh, he stays healthy, but don't play good. Let's put it that way. All right. Just over a month now, the NFL draft will get underway in Kansas City. They're the site of the Super Bowl champions, Kevin and Durp's teams. They both pick in the 20s this year. So which direction do you think your team is going to go, Durp, in the first round? Actually, all throughout, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest with you, like I said in the group chat earlier, this is like one of the first years in a while where I honestly have no idea. Because usually in free agency, we don't do shit. We'll bring back a punter or a long snapper, and that's it. But this year, for some reason, Jerry's opening them pockets. He's bringing back players that we needed to bring. You touched on the Stephon Gilmore trade, which I think is brilliant to put on, have on the other side of Trey. And then we still got Bland. We still got elite safeties for once, bringing back LVE, Dante Fowler today, signing Rojo to be the backup running back. So it's like we have flexibility. We don't pick till 26. I don't really see us moving up in this draft. I think, honestly, it's going to be whoever falls to us. I think the best player that falls to us will probably be who we take, whether that be, it could be a corner. It could be, if we get lucky enough, I think if Bijan Robinson was to fall to us, the running back, I doubt that he will, but I could still see us doing that. I like Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot, our tight ends, but if one of these athletic tight ends falls to us, Dalton Kincaid, Darnell Washington, I could see us taking them. Had the pass rushers and corners in this draft are just a dime a dozen. Like I really don't think that any of them that are going to go in the first round, it's going to be hard to miss. That's how deep this class is with them. So really, I won't be mad with anyone we pick, to be honest with you, as long as it doesn't, we don't take like a quarterback or something like that, something that we absolutely don't need right now.
Kevin, your team picks 22nd overall. Yeah. Right now we have 6 picks, if I'm not mistaken. We had 5 entering a couple weeks ago, but they traded away Chuck Clark to the Jets. So they got a 7th rounder, I believe. So now we have 6. So where do you see our Ravens going in the draft?
It's hard to say because we have got so many needs. And I mean, we're good, but with the whole Lamar thing looming over the head, you need a wide receiver. At 22, I wouldn't if he falls to us. Oh god, and I can never figure out his second part of his name, Jackson Smith. I think it's Najiba.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
Buckeyes.
sounds familiar. Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having him. I mean, Pro Football ranking gives him an 87.7. They said he's a savvy in specialties games. He can he's athletic, but he's not super athletic, but he fights for the ball. I mean, it's not the most sexiest pick in the world, other than with them, maybe getting a corner or a safety, but it's a pick of need. And I know we don't have the greatest track record of drafting wide receivers, but
Definitely.
it's somewhere we got to go with it, unless Lamar doesn't sign, then they're going to have to see if they, then they're back into the quarterback pool, which they're not going to get one of any ilk this year, because there's only, in my opinion, only 3, and they're going to go probably within the first 5 picks. We need pass rush,
Yes.
especially with
Since Suggs left.
yeah, since Suggs. Yeah, well, yeah, actually, since Suggs left, I would love to see Luke Van Nessa drop to us, the sophomore out of Iowa, but that's just a pipe dream. I can probably see the Eagles probably picking him up. Man, I'm not even quite sure who else is out there. You got Miles Murphy, the D line from Clemson. He's played edge before. I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, Jalen Raymond from Oklahoma. I mean, if he fell to us, oh my God, that would be awesome. Because played him, he could be a plug and play. Some people have him projecting going 30 overall. So if the Ravens could pick him up sooner than 30, I wouldn't mind having him either. But I mean, pass rush, wide receivers, cornerback, safety help, offensive line help. I mean, we could use it all at this point. A quarterback. So I mean, it's probably going to be best player on the board at this point.
2 things. I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think would be funny if he fell to us and we drafted him. Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State.
Oh man,
that won't happen.
That's
him at the corner.
Who's it wants? You or Mike want some?
You're talking about a pipe dream. Yeah, I think everybody wants him. I've seen things that they have him ranked like the 3rd best corner.
I think he's the 3rd best corner in this draft.
I don't agree with that. I think
I think he's very top.
I think that Christian Gonzalez is getting bumped up. He's a good corner, but I think he's.
I got 3 corners in my mock draft that are over him.
Well, Christian Gonzalez, I think he's just getting bumped up because he ran so fast at the combine. He's good, don't get me wrong, but for me, I think that I think Joey Porter Jr. is the clear number 1. But that's just
I have Gonzalez going to the Falcons. So
that's where a lot of them corners have been going the last few years, that 8-9 range. That first corners have been coming off the board in that range. But getting back to the Ravens, I think if Lamar doesn't sign, of course he has to July 17th or June 17th?
Yeah, to July 17th. Yeah, to June.
Of course,
17th.
that's well after the draft. So I think either way, even if it was even if for some odd reason they trade him between now and draft night, I think they'll still go with Tyler Huntley at this point, at least for a year.
I hope not.
As far as safeties go, I know you mentioned that. I think we're set at safety with Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton now. Apparently he's going to be the guy back there. I know Brandon Stevens, I think, had played a little bit more corner recently.
Yeah.
But maybe draft somebody later in the draft. But
which is good because with Peters being gone, Stevens might be playing a lot more.
Yeah, but Peters hadn't signed anywhere yet, right?
No.
So they might try to bring him back on a cheaper deal, kind of be like, okay, you ain't got no, you ain't had no big deal yet, so come on back home. Yep.
Peters hadn't signed and Calais hadn't signed anywhere, so
and Justin Houston as well.
Yeah, Calais is visiting with the Falcons today.
Yeah, Houston.
Calais was.
Yeah.
Well, I know Justin Houston was visiting with Denver.
Well.
Oh, he might want to go back out west and get some retaliation on the Chiefs.
I think that the Ravens should do everything in their power to get either Jackson Smith, like Kevin said, or get Quentin Johnson from TCU. I I think that y'all need to stop messing around and getting these 5'9", 5'10" receivers that are fast and go get you one of these 6'1",
Yeah.
6'1" guys that can, go up over the top.
Well, that's why I like Jackson
y'all
Smith
need.
because he's 6'1". He ran like a 4.34 at the combine, and they said he's they said they reminded him of a poor man Anquan Bolden is what a lot of people are calling him. A poor man, smaller size Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Another guy that I've been having my eye on for a while now is Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. He's only 6 foot, 185, but that boy can fly. I think he ran like a 4.34 or something like that. So
yeah, I actually had the Ravens going after him in the second round.
Yeah, he's projected to go in the second round, but with pro days and shit like that, all you got to do is go out, ball out, and you'll fuck around and fly up the board.
Zach
Especially
Wilson.
with wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. Zach Wilson. Go out there and make one good
One
throw.
big throw, yep. One big catch.
Kyle Bowler. All you gotta do is get on your knee, throw a football 60 yards through a tire, and you get a first round pick.
Yep. All right, everyone, let's keep it on the draft topic. It's time the guys, they'll reveal who they'd pick in the top 10 if they had a say. Let's go over those picks real quick before they get to it. Carolina Panthers, they traded up with the Bears, sent the whole house to Chicago for the first overall pick. Houston, they'll be picking number 2 as of now. Arizona 3. At 4, we have the Colts in Indianapolis. Seattle owns the number 5 pick at the moment. Detroit Lions at 6. Las Vegas Raiders will be picking 7. Atlanta Falcons at 8. Kevin's Bears at 9. And the Philadelphia Eagles, NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles, are round out the top 10. Let's see, who are we going with? First, Kevin, you have your first overall pick. Who are you taking?
I have the Panthers taking Bryce Young. And just bear with me on this one because they need a franchise QB. I mean, they packaged DJ Moore and a bunch of picks to move up to get it. He's a deadly passer. I mean, yeah, he does have size issues. He's only 5'10", 204, but a lot of them compare him to Kyler Murray, where his accuracy can supersede his size and his speed can supersede his size. I have him, so I have him one to the Panthers. I just think he's a better, even as a smaller quarterback, I think he's a better pick in that Panther system, in that West Coast offense system.
All right, Durp, who are you giving to new head coach Frank Wright there in Carolina?
See, I've heard so many things as far as this first pick goes, and even before the Panthers traded up, I heard that they were absolutely in love with Anthony Richardson, and with them trading up, I think that they came out this week, I think it was, and they said that they're still undecided. Florida's pro day is coming up, and I think exactly what we just talked about is going to happen. He's a freak athlete. He's huge, big arm. He's fast. He's like 240, 250 pounds. I think he's just going to wow them there, and they're going to see remnants of old Cam Newton and have to go for it. So, I mean, it's subject to change, but I just think right now, when it comes time for them to pull the trigger, I think that they're just going to be wowed too much by him, especially, like I said, how he did at the combine, and then when this pro day comes up, I think he's going to blow it out the water.
Absolutely. Okay. Heading to Houston down there in Texas, Lone Star State. Kevin, who are you giving the Houston Texans there at number 2?
Who do I have for Houston? Because I got my
let's go to Durp. Durp, who are you going number 2?
See, this once again is a toss-up. I think it comes down to who's more of a fit for what team. And I think that Bryce Young fits more of what the Texans are going to want to do. They're going out and they're getting, I don't want to say like no-name players because, I mean, shout out to Noah Brown. He held us down. Dalton Schultz, that is what it is with that situation. But going to get, Singletary and these players, they're trying to build something. And I think it's just going to come down to who they want more at that point, who they think fits better. And I think what they're trying to do down there, I think that Bryce Young is the better selection for them to make. So I think it'll be him.
All right, Kevin, you're on the board. If
Yep, I
not,
got
you know
you.
you
Yep,
lose your pick if you don't have it right now.
yeah, I got you. No, I just have it in my notes.
Go ahead. You're good.
I actually have them taking CJ Stroud at number 2. I think he's a dual threat, lethal passer. He's got 4.65 speed. He's got a 71% passer completion rate, which God only knows the Texans can use quarterback help. And I just think he would be for that offensive line that they like to do to run the stunts. They like to really kick their their linebackers over. I think I'm not linebackers, but they like to cut their linemen in. I think that with his speed, it'd be better fit for him there than with the Panthers.
All right, Kevin, the Arizona Cardinals, they dropped 7 straight games to finish the season last year to slide into the number 3 overall pick. Who do you have going there to the Arizona Cardinals and their new coach there out in the desert?
I have them getting Will Anderson from Alabama. He was the top defensive player in 2021. They need an edge game. He can come in as a plug and play player, can probably show up that edge game right away. He's a Bronco Nagurski Award winner, so he's going to give you that battle, and he's got a motor. That they said he doesn't have a stop factor in his head. He will play to the He plays to the whistle, sometimes through the whistle, and his legs are always moving, which is what you need inside of any type of pass rush, edge rush, that bull rush type of player. But he's also got the athletic ability where he can do the spin move and take you off your feet. So I got Will Anderson to the Cardinals.
What he said. I think Will Anderson is the best player hands down in this draft. If it was me, I understand that the Bears got they basically robbed the Panthers at gunpoint for what they got. So I understand why they moved out of the first pick. You'd be stupid not to. But even if I was the Panthers or even if I was the Texans, if they passed up on him, for me personally, even quarterback needy or not, I'm taking Will Anderson first. I think that he is the best player in this draft, and I think it's going to show from day one.
All right, everyone, it's like 7-11 up in here. The Colts, they also lost 7 straight games to finish 2022. They finished with a record of 4-12-1, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, on to this year. Where are they going with the number 4 overall pick, Kevin?
This is where I have Anthony Richardson coming off the board, quarterback from Florida. I agreed with you everything you said, Durp, that he had a good combine. He had his birthday could probably knock him up to the number 1 pick, and it wouldn't surprise me if he did go number 1 overall. But I just think he's got a huge arm, he's got great athleticism, but if you watch his tape, he's very inconsistent. He'll struggle at times against some of the more tougher edge rushers. But if you give him time in the pocket, he can pick it clean. So it's just going to be a matter of he needs a line that's going to keep him up, a line that's going to keep him clean. If he doesn't have that, and if he has to go out of the pocket, I question his consistency sometimes in his passing. But I have him going to the Colts overall.
I have the Colts. This is where I have CJ Stroud coming off the board. I think that he's a good fit for the Colts. He's not as mobile as Bryce Young is. The Colts have a decent offensive line with Quentin Nelson, the best guard in football, not named Zach Martin. Ryan Kelly's pretty decent. Braden Smith. I think that they allowed like 60 sacks last year, but I mean, for the past 5 years, they've had fucking statues standing back there in the pocket. So I think that you pair him with JT, Pittman, and them up there. I think that he gives them a good chance. And like I said, this with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, they're kind of interchangeable when it comes to the Texans and the Colts. And I think it's just going to come down to who fits who better. Obviously, where one goes, the other one will go. I think basically, depending on Anthony Richardson, of course.
Yeah, see, that's why I think Anthony Richardson is going to be the dark horse in this whole draft. Mm-hmm.
So the Seattle Seahawks, they're still benefiting from the Russell Wilson trade a year ago. They now have the number 5 overall pick, thanks to the Broncos' horrendous season there in Denver. Kevin, who you got number 5 for Pete Carroll's squad?
I have him taking Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia overall. They need to shore back up that defense. You know, the Legion of Boom has been the Legion of Dust the last couple of years. And he's strong, he's a versatile player, to 3-down lineman. He can play D tackle. He can also shift out to play defensive end. He does have some character issues, and that's what questions me on whether or not Carroll would step up to take him. Because he's had some off the field issues that said he could slip in the draft. He also suffered an ankle injury last year that kept him out of 4 games. But overall, I have him going to Seattle.
Yeah, I have the same thing. The off the field issues, and all that. He couldn't finish his pro day. He showed up like 9 pounds heavier. He got gassed or whatever. I understand all of that, but at the end of the day, his talent is just off the charts. You see it on film and all that. So I think that they'll kind of push that to the side. If there's any coach out there that can sit a young man down and say, like, hey, we need you focused, we need you here, we need to, this is what you have to do in order to succeed. I think Pete Carroll can do that all day, every day. Mm-hmm. And I think if you come to somebody with this much talent and this much weight on their shoulders, and if they come and say, hey, you can be the main focus of this defense day one, you just have to show. I think that he'll go there and he'll succeed.
Yeah, it's like they say, if the talent's worth more than the headache, you deal with the headache.
Right.
And and I think this stuff's just stuff that can be shored up in the off season. Get them with a trainer or something. They could probably keep it in check.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell says something at the combine about not judging players in pajamas. But he's got some decisions to make at number 6. Kevin, who will he take there to add to his 9 and 8 squad?
I have Tyree Wilson, defensive tackle, defensive end from Texas Tech. For as good as that Lions defense is, they still lack a front 7 pass rush. He can play both inside, outside, D tackle. He can also play both left side and right side of the line. The other thing about Wilson is that he's versatile. He can drop. Not only is he big, but he's also quick. And man, would he look good across from Aiden Hutchinson. And with him being able to slide inside and outside, you can really shift him anywhere in that front 7, and people will not know where he's coming.
Yeah, for me, once it gets past the Seahawks, once it gets to 6, for me it kind of comes down to, are they going to go more need? Are they going to go more want? Who's gonna slide to them? The Lions have been building a really good defense by getting the safety from the Eagles. Can't think of his name right now. Johnson. But I think they either
CJ
go.
Gardner.
Yeah, there you go. I think that they go probably pass rusher just for the reason that Kevin said, to have somebody on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. They had another rookie that came on at the end of the year, and he did well. So I don't know if they would want to do that or if they go corner. So I kind of think it's a toss-up, but this is where I think that Devin Witherspoon comes off the board here. I think they go corner. They just got Jeff Okuda a couple years ago, and he hasn't really panned out. So I think that they might maybe bump him down to their number 2 corner, put Devin Witherspoon over there, and just kind of see how it works out.
The Raiders finished 3rd in AFC West last year. Kevin, where are they going at number 7?
Now, this is where I have Devin Witherspoon going off. There's one behind where Durp have. I have him going to the Raiders overall. I think with the signing of Jimmy G, the Raiders are going to probably shy away from trying to be in the quarterback pool. Witherspoon he's high talent, ball hawk. He's got a good football IQ, and he's got speed. And I think I think he'd be a good part of that Raiders defense because he does got that dog fight in him as well. Yeah, I think that's where I think he goes.
All right. Well, I have been going with Christian Gonzalez, just mainly to the reason why I said earlier he ran such a fast 40, and this is what do the Raiders love? They
Speed.
love speed. They love speed. So I think that if he is still there, that's probably where they go. I think.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons, they closed out 2022 on a high note, winning 2 straight games to finish the year. Where are they going at number 8, Kevin?
This is where I have Christian Gonzalez going, from quarterback from Oregon. Like you said, he loves speed, and the Falcons they need speed in that secondary, and and I think him teamed up. If you think about it, team him up with AJ Terrell, you're going to have one of the biggest and athletic cornerback tandems in the NFL. I mean, I don't see where the Falcons can, if he's there, where they would not take him.
Completely understandable. I have the Falcons going with Tyree Wilson. I think that they could really use some pass rush over there, get after those star-studded quarterbacks they got coming to the division, and I think that they could use help getting to the quarterback.
Despite 10 straight losses to finish the season and 0-6 winless in the NFC North, the Chicago Bears, Kevin's Bears, they traded out of the top pick in the draft. They're now at number 9. Kevin, how do you feel about that, and where will they go?
I can't fault them for trading out of the number 1 pick. I mean, for what they were given the Kings ransom for that pick by Carolina, so what I would have taken it too. I have them going O-line here. I have them going to Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, guard center out of Northwestern. He very athletic, keeps his motor going. He's kept his quarterback. He's a 4-year starter out of Northwestern. He kept his quarterback clean. I think they said in his career he's only given up 15 sacks in his 4-year career. The Bears struggle basically in every position at this point, but I think that they're going to keep going with their QB. We need somebody who's going to keep him clean, and that's where Skoronski will come in.
I also have them going offensive line, but I have them going Paris Johnson Jr. instead. 6'7", 295. Yeah, offensive tackle. I think either way we can agree that they're going to do something to shore up that offensive line and protect, Justin Fields, help out with the running game. I think there's no way that they don't take offensive linemen, no matter who it is.
All right, the reigning NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles will close out the top 10. We're going to go to the NFC East expert first. Durp, where you got the Eagles going there?
I think the Eagles are a lot like us, where they have options. They could see who falls to them at 10. They have 2 picks in the first round, but I think that they fill in a hole here and they go with Brian Branch, the safety, and shore up that back end with he's a big play guy, and I think that's what they always look for in the back end. This also could be where Bijan Robinson comes off, because the Eagles like to have 47 running backs on their roster, but I hope that doesn't happen.
All right. Well, I also went defense for this one, but I actually went defensive end. I went Luke Van Ness out of Iowa. I feel like the Eagles they could use a pass rush. I mean, and he has a relentless motor. He's a little bit raw. He had a good combine performance, and I think that he could learn a lot from Brandon Graham being in there, and I think it would be a great fit for him to learn under Brandon Graham and to get that same motor that Graham has.
Sounds good, everyone. Next time you'll see us, we will recap and adjust, if any, Kevin and Durp will adjust their top 10 and also unveil the remainder of the first round. That'll be just before the draft coming up next month in April. Until then, be easy, everyone.
So.